Welcome to my regulars and those of you who are walking through the door for the first time this evening. Quite an eclectic mixture that we have here. What could we be going for? A couple of shots of espresso, some coffee liqueur, some vodka. Seems a bit like an espresso martini, but we've got some creme de cacao. Where are we going to go with this? It's going to be a riff on an espresso martini. So on this episode of Hit the Mahogany, we are going to be doing a Mochatini. A Mochatini. Alright, so I looked a few of the recipes up for this, and I have to say, when I looked at them, I didn't even try them because they just looked fucking god-awful, to be honest. Just clearly we're going to be sweet, not balanced in any way whatsoever. Now, if you like that type of thing, that's fine. Go and, certainly, if you like that, you go and have it. Not really for what I was actually looking for here. So I tried a couple of different ratios, tried a few different recipes myself, and I think I've come up with one. Now, if you like it, good. If you don't, sorry, try something else, or you can start playing around with the ratios yourself. Now, one thing, as I go through this Mochatini, there's going to be, what do I want? We still want coffee, but we want a hint of chocolate in there somewhere. You don't want it overly sweet, and you don't want it chocolate with coffee. Think about, actually, there's a lot of those mocha coffees that you get, and they really are just way, way too sweet. So we're trying to work out what we get from a fine balance. Alright, let's start with our espresso shots to start with. Just wanted to show you this little gizmo here. You may have seen one, you may have seen something similar to this. This might be one that you might have seen a little bit more traditional, where, you've got your coffee collects on the top, you put your coffee in here, right, you put your coffee in there, you put your water in there, there's it's dropped off the bottom, there's a little filter that goes in the bottom there, you screw that on, put it on the stove, the water heats, forces it up through the centre point, and it should be in there, it forces it up through the centre there, and what you end up with is espresso. Then you pour it out. But we picked this up in Italy, which is exactly the same idea, except it pours it straight into your little, I don't know if you want to call it a demi-tasse, but your espresso cups there, I jumped from France to Italy and Italy to France there, right? But there's a couple of espresso shots for you. And just let you know, I made these earlier so they've cooled down. So anytime that you're actually making this, if you make espresso, don't use, you could get away with maybe some strong cold brew coffee, but you really want a bit of a kick of espresso. As I did in my espresso martini video previously, you want to wake up and get fucked up a little bit, but you certainly want something to keep you awake there. So a good strong espresso will do the trick. Alright. Shall we start building this one? Alright, let's go for it. Good vodka. Remember, it's all about the ingredients, okay? So what we're going to do is, it's 2 ounces of vodka for each one. Let's not shy away from this. Let's actually make this strong, okay? Now I'm going to be making, I'm going to be making 2 of these. So I'm going to double this up, okay? Get some nice Belvedere vodka in this one here. I was thinking about trying the Chopin in this. The Chopin's potato based. It's a very good flavour, but I didn't think it was going to. I didn't think it was really going to work out too well in this, because there's too many other flavours that would just mask some of that additional subtleness of the Chopin vodka. All right. So, vodka. What about an espresso shot? So, here's one shot here. Let me measure this out. Let's see how much we've got here. So that is about, it's just shy of 2 ounces actually, okay? So you're looking at about 2 ounces for each one of espresso. In we go. Alright. We do want some coffee liqueur in here. So what we're going to do is we are going to put in ½ ounce. Now the Mr. Black, I found is very good quality. It's not too sweet. It is a liqueur, but it's not overly powerful. It's not as sweet as, hold on, let me go down and see what I can find to show you an example. Kahlua. You may, you can use Kahlua definitely. That's going to be a little bit sweeter, but you can certainly use that, okay? Alright. we'll go with Mr. Black. We're actually going to use half an ounce for each one here. Okay, so that's going to be 1 ounce in total that I'm going to use. Okay. Now, you need the coffee. Sorry, I've already got the coffee. What about the chocolate? Creme de cacao. Creme de cacao. It'll come in white or dark. You can use either actually, but certainly get away with the dark creme de cacao here. Now, you can also try, for example, I've actually got Godiva chocolate liqueur as well. You could certainly give that a shot. Any kind of chocolate liqueur. I'm going to use the creme de cacao here, okay? Slightly higher ratio than the coffee liqueur, just to give us that extra chocolatey kick, okay? So it's going to be 3/4 of an ounce for each one. So that's going to be 1 1/2. Now this is going to be a big drink. Why not? Deserve it, don't you? Okay. It's a cocktail. Bitters. If you get them, get your hands on them. Get some chocolate bitters. This is Aztec chocolate bitters. What does that taste like? Let's go for it. Chocolatey, bitter. That's what it says on the label there. No, there's a... It's definitely chocolate, but it's more what you would get from like cocoa nibs. More that before it's been conched. That's when they make the chocolate liqueur. Before it actually gets turned into chocolate, you know. It's got a little bit more of that flavour there. There's also a little bit of vanilla in this one as well. Maybe even a little bit of cinnamon or something in this one. Aztec chocolate bitters. It wouldn't surprise me if it does have something like that in there. But anyway, get a couple of, get this if you can. 2 dashes for each one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Now what I've noticed on some of the Mochatini ones where whipped cream and cream getting added to it, I don't know about you, but unless I am really wanting to drink something like that, having cream on the top of something, I just sense a bit heaving coming on later on, definitely. It just doesn't seem right, and it's going to make the drink very heavy as well. There's nothing wrong with cream going into drinks. I think if you're thinking about this more from a martini, stretching the word martini there with this drink, but I think if you're using that, I think if you put cream in there, it's too heavy. The fats in there, they're going to give you, it's going to give a weird mouthfeel to it. You know, if you put too much cream in your coffee, the coffee, you can't taste it. It's as though the fat coats your taste buds and you really can't taste anything. But what if you want a little bit of foam on the top anyway to kind of replicate? Egg whites. Egg whites. Now you can use egg whites. You can separate the egg yolk and the egg whites. If you're concerned about salmonella, depending on which country you're in, you can actually get egg whites only, and you can get them pasteurised. So this is about 3/4 of an ounce for each one of egg white in there. And that is us. We got everything in there? We do. Mise en place, let's make sure. Now, we're going to dry shake this. I know it's wet in there, but it just means without ice to help whip up the egg whites and get those proteins starting to work and start to create some nice little bubbles in there. Now the problem I find with egg whites in a drink is it has a tendency to want to expand and make a bit of a mess. So here we go. Okay, that's why I couldn't tell there. So that's our first shake to get the whites. Oh, it popped off there. And there's a nice foam going on in there. Now we want to get this puppy chilled down. Let's get our ice. There we go. Ice. Here we go again. Make that one secure. Sorry. Bit of a bang. Let's shake this one on. Nicely chilled, so you get a bit of dilution effect there. And it's chilled as well. Now, before I pour this, let's get prepped. How about a bit of a garnish here? Look what we've got. Cadbury's dark milk. It's a little bit higher content in that. Just use a dark chocolate, okay? Get this opened up. We'll get this ready. What we're going to do is we're going to grate our chocolate onto the top, okay? And that'll just be a nice garnish. I suppose you could use a little bit of a sprinkle of cocoa powder or something like that on the top as well if you wanted. Be careful though, cocoa powder is bitter and it can not be quite a nice flavour if you're using too much of it, okay? Alright, let's get this one opened up. I'll get it down there. And here we go. This is a big drink. And as I said, why not? Get that foam in there. Give that look of whipped cream on top, you know? Except it's not cream. Now if you're a vegetarian and you still want to do this, or vegan, you can actually use aquafaba, sorry. That is the strain the water from a can of chickpeas. Yes, that will behave exactly the same way as egg white here, okay? Alright, there we go. Bit of grate some of your chocolate on top. A bit more on this one. Alright. There we have our Mochatinis. Alright. What do I have here? Do you think I enjoyed this one? That was one, as I was trying out the recipes, that was one that I hadn't finished because I was trying quite a few, and I certainly wanted to be reasonably compos mentis when I was doing this. Alright, here we go. That's got a kick. You can maybe cut back the vodka maybe to 1.5. Good coffee. Coffee's there. The chocolate liqueur. It's not too sweet. Now this is not a very sweet drink. It is sweet but not killer. If you want to sweeten it, I would say you could get away with either using Kahlua instead of creme de cacao. Now that would sweeten it up as well. Or if you're using this, just a 1/4 ounce of simple syrup will just sweeten this up a little bit. I don't like it too sweet. Many people will, but you've got the base here, so now you can play with it. But this, it's refreshing. It's not cloying. You know there's coffee. Coffee liqueurs coming through well. There's chocolate there. The bitters, they come in at the end there as well. It's just a really nice counterbalance actually. So, what more can I say? I can't say anything. You could play around with this. You can maybe even try vanilla vodka. Again, be careful though, because generally any of your flavoured vodkas also tend to be sweet as well. Sweeter, okay? You know what? Oh yeah. The mouthfeel with this. The egg white's there. It doesn't taste eggy, by the way, anybody who's worried about that. But it kind of just gives a little bit more body, there's a little bit more texture to it as you're drinking. If you didn't have that, you know, like an espresso martini, it's going to be sort of flat. You know, even although you get the nice crema on the top, you know, the foam that you get on top of your espresso, that's they call that the crema. When you shake the espresso martini, it kind of gives that kind of crema look on the top. That's great. Tends to fade away a little bit. Here you can think of that as being a little bit more like sort of like cream on there. Holy mackerel. That's a bit of a kicker actually. Yeah, you might want to tame the vodka back down maybe to maybe 1.5 there. But you're going to be pleasantly surprised with that one. Big time. Anyway, everybody, riff on a espresso martini, we have the Mochatini. I think the recipe has worked out pretty well. You let me know what you think as well, okay? Everybody cheers and enjoy your Mochatinis. Aye, that does the trick. Cheers.